welcome everyone to the Let's Talk Photography podcast. And I want to thank you all for tuning in to my weekly live stream here on YouTube, in which we talk about cameras, lighting, gear, rumors, and everything about photography. Thus, let's talk photography. This week, we're going to be discussing ways in which we plan to level up for 2026 as photographers. We're being attacked by multiple fronts. We got AI, we have people's mental perception on the value of photography, and we have the demand in the market. What do they expect from us as photographers? So if you're curious about what kind of strategy or goals to plan for 2026 in order for you to level up your game, well, I want to hear about it. And I'm going to share some of my perspective as well in this episode of Let's Talk Photography. Let's go. Okay, so as before we get started, I do want to let you know that if you head on over to robertsilverphotography.com, the link to my website is down below in the description, and you click right here on where it says store. You click right there and look what I have for you, and it's free 99. Can you believe that? And it's a free portrait guide that I put together. You could download it. All it requires is your email, and you go ahead and get a quick copy of my portrait guide. Okay. If you have any questions, comments about that, feel free to DM me on Instagram or send me an email. Okay. So that right there is for all of you out there. So feel free to take advantage. All right. I already noticed we got a few comments in here. I want to say thank you very much for those who are tuning in right now. We do, let me get rid of some of this other stuff, meaning business. Of course, if you haven't already, shame on you. Go ahead and follow me on all the socials. I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and of course, X or Twitter. And ironically, I was seriously considering on deleting my account on Twitter. I don't think my Twitter account does very much of anything in terms of impact to my business or my branding. And Twitter has just become such a negative platform on so many levels that I honestly think my photography doesn't really cut through the mustard, in terms of all that digital, the negative digital noise out there. So that platform, and I was considering just being less active on Instagram, or not Instagram, on social media in general. So it's like a love-hate relationship. So anyway, we'll talk about that later on as well. I do have a package, Lightroom preset package, specifically for fashion photography. If you have seen any of my stuff posted on Instagram and you like the way my photos come out, I pretty much guarantee it's edited with one of my presets. All right. And that is available as well on my website. And click on store and you can see it there right now. I believe I have it on a discounted price. And it's 12 presets that I have been using over the years for all of my photos. And then I just curated it and then put it in a package like I do right there. Okay. So I just want to let you know about that. And let me see if there's anything else. Oh, and of course, if you like this kind of content and you want to show your support, the best way possible is to become a member of this channel. I have a members only Discord as well as a members only live stream called Cameras and Coffee. Okay. So if you want to be part of that conversation and that members only exclusive live stream, become a channel member, click that join button down below. And it's only like, I think $2.99 a month. All right. $2.99 or $3.99 a month. Absolutely affordable. And it would be, it's a huge help to support this channel. And of course, I'm going to make sure that you get the value of that $2.99. That's for sure. What else is there? I think we're good to go right there. Let me just see who this is. If you're tuning in, go to the chat now and let me know where you're tuning in from, because I'm curious to see where the stream is being pushed out at and where you all are watching from. It's really fun to see that. Thank you, Manila Martin from the Philippines. Really appreciate that. Always tuning in, and it's always good to see you there in the chat. All right. So there's been a few things in photography news this week, and I want us to go over that. Let me make sure I have all my notes and stuff together. Oh, of course, if you're in here, smash that like, that share, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you get notifications for my live streams and for any videos that I post. Okay. I think I may do an impromptu live stream tomorrow on my cell phone because I think I'm going to do an unboxing video. Okay, so if you want to see that and be notified, you got to hit the subscribe and the bell icon. All right. So it's for a product that I think a lot of us out there use. And I thought it would be kind of clever to kind of do the unboxing with all of you, like I have previously, by the way. I've done a few of them. I do want to let you know that I had a recent live stream of me um, using the Godox IT32 mini speed light. uh, where was I? I was in the Bay Area, obviously, but I was using the Nikon Z6 Mark III and the Nikon 24 to 70 f2.8 version 2 lens, and it was a really fun shoot. You could check out that live stream. It's like an hour live stream. It's on my channel right now. Feel free to watch it after you're done with this live stream. But nonetheless, you could go see how um I was able to use it during sunset and right after it got a bit dark. And that was originally planned to do that. We wanted to shoot kind of after dark, city street kind of a vibe. And we had a good time doing it. It's a really powerful flash. It's I do like it with the what is it? The XR wireless trigger. And so therefore it works magnetically with the IT32. And it was cool to work it as an off camera and on camera flash. It was really fun. I am going to be bringing you a more in-depth full review of that flash later on soon. So definitely want to stay tuned for that. And I also had this video just dropped 2 days ago, and this was my experience capturing the fitness portraits using a 2 camera flash setup and the Nikon Z8, and it came out really, really awesome. I love the color and contrast I was able to get, and you could watch that video on my channel right now. It was really a fun shoot. I had a great time. I used like this 70, the 200 f2.8 and the 50 f1.2 lens. I were like, oh, and I brought also this 24 to 70 2.8 actually. But I had a great time capturing those images. Um, I had like a CTL gel connected to Flash B, which was the 8200 as the hair light slash rim light. And then I on a key light, I had a 36-inch octabox on that one. And it was really fun. It really was. I've never shot in that fitness gym before. So just figuring out ways to hide the second flash so it won't be in a shot, and also be trying to make sure it doesn't show up in the mirrors inside that fitness gym was some fun challenges to overcome. But the photos kind of speak for itself. I enjoyed them. I hope you do too. And you go ahead and watch that video on my channel. All right. And that's Venusa there. A lot of you who've been watching my channel for a while know I've worked with Venusa quite a number of times. We have another shoot next week, so you definitely don't want to miss that photo shoot. And she's a personal trainer by day. So I wanted to help her create commercial ready portraits for her website. She was building out a website. So I was like, okay, let me do this for you. And I did it for her because she's a friend of mine. And I thought it would be great content for all of you out there as well. Let me fix this ISO. I feel like it's a little low. There we go. All right. I think that's a little better. I don't like when the shadows are just absolutely obliterated. Right now, just FYI, I am streaming with the Nikon Z6 Mark III, and the 24-70 f2.8 version 2 lens. Okay. So let me know what you think of the quality of using my Nikon as a webcam, because guess what? Guess what, folks? My next video will be me breaking down how you could turn any of your Nikon mirrorless cameras into a webcam. So I figured, why not practice what I preach and stream today using a Nikon camera. In the past, I've been streaming with Lumix cameras. Okay. So today, here's Nikon, baby. And I'm really enjoying the separation that I'm getting out of this medium zoom lens, the 24-70 at f2.8. And this is what it is. Okay. I have the picture profile on neutral, I believe. And it's kicking butt. And as far as battery life, to overcome that, use the USB-C cable, plug it into your camera, and then put it into the AC port, and plug it into the outlet. Okay. And that's how you make sure that your battery doesn't die out while you're streaming with this camera. All right. I know, because guess what? I tested it out. All right. But I'm going to break down exactly how you could turn your Nikon camera into a high-end webcam in my next video. So that's why you're going to have to, guess what? Subscribe to my channel. I know. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? All right. Let's see here. We got a couple of comments going on. We got King Kruk in the house. Awesome. Thank you. He said, I'm coming to see you cook. All right, brother. Hear that sizzle? Yeah, it's about to go down today. And then we have Drunk Wedding Photographer Mushi Mushi. Oh yeah, brother. And we got Baseball Kid. Hey, what's happening? The first time I've seen your profile in here. We got Roy Bigsby in the house. Hold on, let me say. Oh yeah, there we go. And oh yeah, that's right. That's for Roy Bigsby right there. He said it looks a bit too clear. Yeah, but you know what? I kind of thought the same too with this using my Z6 III as a webcam. But I actually am kind of digging it. That means when I travel, I have my camera to take stills, video, and use as a webcam, because next month I'm going to be traveling for a week, and I still wanted to make sure I do a live stream. So this is giving me some great creative ideas where I could still give you a quality live stream using my Nikon camera. Okay, so this is pretty cool. Manila Martin says the stream looks great. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And Roy says, I like that the Z8 has 2 USB-C ports, one to stream and one for power. Well, shout out to the Z8 now. Oh yeah. So, and you're right about that. You're right about that. That's why, honestly, with our cameras nowadays, especially, with any brand really, but Nikon in this conversation, these cameras do it all. You can stream with it. You can do great video with it. You can capture great stills with it. So if you're not utilizing it in all those different ways, then you're kind of missing out, honestly, in the full capabilities of these cameras. So like right now, I'm using the USB-C port to keep this camera going. And guess what? That's a pretty awesome feature. All right. So for static situations like this or long form interviews, that's a great feature. All right. And honestly, it's nailing my webcam situation. Let me see this. Let me see how look at that autofocus. Bam, 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 bam. And that's because I'm not using face detection or subject detection, by the way. If you turn that off when you're doing a webcam and just put AFF, you can use it like the way I am, because it's going to prioritize whatever subject is closest to the lens, not just my face. So if I want to do a product shot like so, bam, I can. See? Bam. All right. There you go. AFF, no subject detection. Sometimes it's like Kenny Rogers says, sometimes, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. So face detect or face subject detect on Nikon is a great tool, but it doesn't mean you need to use it all of the time. All right. Matter of fact, I've noticed it sometimes is struggling to look for a face in the frame. And if you don't have one, not the tracking, but your autofocus could be struggling. And it's not the camera itself or the sensor, it's because you don't have it on the right mode. All right. That's a little ranty rant. I know this because you know why? You know why I know this? Here, hold on. Let me tell you something, okay? Because I've made that mistake. Okay? That's why I know this. All right. So I know one of you out there made that same stupid mistake. All right. Anyway, I'm calling you out. Let's see here. Roy Bigsby says some of us look better out of focus. Uh-oh, there we go. There you go. Hey, I'm not gonna say anything, okay? I'll let you tell it. But that has been my experience by just not understanding which mode is really best for the situation that I'm in. Okay. But my point is your camera could handle any situation you're in. I don't care what anybody says. If they're like, oh, I need more than 20 frames a second. Yeah, that would be nice to shoot more than 20 frames. You don't really need it. I mean, we didn't need it 10 years ago. And last time I checked, great photos were being captured a long time before there was phase detect autofocus. So just know how to use your tools, for heaven's sakes. That means you got to mess around with your cameras when you're not being paid or when it's game time for you, whatever that is. Just get up and shoot. And that's why I honestly want to put together that video that's going to come next about how to utilize your camera as a webcam. Because a lot of people are like, I stream a lot for meetings, and you'd be amazed how bad their streams look. And now, granted, they're not a photographer, but for me, when I'm doing a consultation with a client virtually, which I've done way more in the past 2 years than ever, and my camera looks amazing, my feed looks great, everything looks great on Google Meet or Zoom, that really drives and adds value or impact to my brand. Okay, because my camera and my feed looks sharp, it looks great. Like, dang, this guy knows what he's doing before I ever took the first photo for said client. So think about that too. Remember, value is also about perception. It's not just about how expensive you paid for your camera. Most clients don't give a damn how much you paid for your camera, but they want to see perceived value. Apple sells perceived value, right? Rolls Royce, perceived value. Bentley, perceived value. Okay, it's either you can afford it or you can't. But the perceived value of a Bentley, you don't have to see a price tag to know it costs a lot of money. All right, so that's what you want to give, and that's why using your Nikon as a webcam is going to elevate the perceived value of you, a service provider, right? Whether it be photos or video or social media content for your client. All right. I don't know where that rant just came from, but I had to just drop some knowledge on you. Anyway, I certainly can't have a bad stream looking like mess and then telling you guys you should subscribe to my channel. If I didn't take care of the lighting and be very mindful of my composition and everything else, why are you watching me? Why would you watch anybody? They got to, I hate when people don't practice what they preach, making videos about what you should do. And then all of a sudden you look at their composition, you look at the lighting, you look at the details of the background, and they're just like, what a hot mess. How are their photos going to come out then? Anyway, let's see. Yeah. We did that. We did this. Of course, let me know all of your opinions down in the chat. That's why the live chat is there for subscribers to rant like myself. And I encourage the ranting. All right. This is all about a dialogue. That's why the show is called Let's Talk Photography. Right. I don't like let's rant about photography, which would be an interesting concept, though. I'm not mad at that. All right. A good in the house. He says, dropping facts, bro. Thank you very much. And Roy says, I watch the Robert Show because I can't shoot models anymore. Hey, man, I appreciate you watching, whether you can, you can't. Roy, you've been one of the most solid, most consistent people on my stream and in my on my channel, quite honestly. So thank you very much, man. King Crook in the house. Uh, oh, okay. So I took the Z8 to do photography for the wow. Uh, oh, you know what? That's funny that you say that, King Crook, about the D850. Okay. Oh, let me do this. I'm so sorry, everybody. Here you go. We'll do wide. Awesome. Um, it's funny that you say that. Let's do it like this. You know, the D850 is still one of the best cameras ever made, bar none. And Nikon, that was their last greatest DSLR for sure. That was the cream of the crop. It was a great way for them to go out. Um, I think you just, spend a little bit more time with the Z8. That autofocus is incredible, especially for moving subjects. There's never been a time I wanted to take a photo and didn't nail that autofocus. So I don't know. Don't give up on the Z8. The Z8 is like, I'm not gonna lie, there's really nothing wrong with that camera. And video as well is fantastic. It does up to 8K if you wanted to, ProRes RAW, and RAW and all that good stuff. So you can shoot 12-bit video internally. That's pretty awesome. It is a phenomenal camera. So, don't give up on it, King Crook. Give it a go. All right. You know what I've been really watching a lot lately? Maybe it's the algorithm. Um, Nikon ZR videos. People could, say, "Hey, how have I enjoyed it?" or pros and cons. It's mostly pros. And I don't know, guys. I'm seriously looking at that Nikon ZR all of a sudden, okay? I really am. Cuz I was like, wouldn't it be fun to have a Nikon camera that's just dedicated to video? And for me that means a lot. I don't need a viewfinder. I have the Z6 Mark III. I love that camera. But I like that it does 4K or 6K, 60 frames and zero crop. That's pretty handy. And I'm thinking about getting into other styles of photography and videography services. And 4K 60 is clutch. It's great for what I'm planning on doing and not having to crop my full frame. Oh, that's awesome. And the compact package would work really well on my Ronin gimbal on an RS3 Pro. Even though the Z6 III has zero issues on it, but hey, why not an even more compact camera? So I've been kind of looking a lot lately at the Nikon ZR. So I don't know. Maybe sooner than I thought. Okay. I might if something comes my way that makes it financially make sense, I think I'm gonna jump on that Nikon ZR. What do you think about that news, everybody? Most of you are probably gonna be like, duh, you're gonna get it, or what's the surprise there? But I don't know. At first, I was really reluctant about that camera. I was like, I have the Z6 Mark III. And if you have a Nikon Z6 Mark III, you do not need to sell it for the ZR. It's the same color, it's the same sensor. It's like you're fine. It's really form factor and workflow. And for me, it would be a dedicated video camera, vlogging camera. Like that's all I would want it for. And that's literally what it specialized in. And not having that 4-inch screen is very compelling for me for as a solo creator. So anyway, Roy says, I missed the D850 magnesium mirror box shutter sounds. Scares away zombies. Hey, you know what? I do kind of miss that flap. It scared away zombies, birds, and people alike, let me tell you. But there was something about that. It's interesting that we could turn on the sound of a fake shutter just because of that nostalgia I think half of us have, right? King Kruk says, Rob, the ZR is the truth. I have 3 and thinking of getting a 4th for specialty use. Well, I think I'm gonna have to do this, my friend, right here. That's crazy. King Kruk, you're really getting me thinking. I mean, the price point is amazing. Let's be honest. Um, it makes me think here in the US, if we didn't have a what do they call it? The tariffs, it would have been under $2,000 for that camera. And the more I think about it, would I use the R3D color files? Probably not, unless I'm doing a film. But for everything else, the form factor, the autofocus I enjoy, like I do with the Z6 Mark III. I love the color of it. The form, what else? The 32-bit flow audio, and who was it today? Dang, I can't. Matt Hapalja. I can't remember. I'm butchering his name, but he has a huge freaking channel. But I like watching his stuff. I subscribe to his channel, so shout out to him. He's over in Canada, but he was like, the 4-inch screen is so big, you really don't need to attach a monitor to it. And I was thinking, as a run and gun creator like myself, and what I would use a ZR for, that that is such a great point and a valuable asset. And that means I can have an even smaller package. And when I do want to rig something up, I have the Z8 and I have the Z6 Mark III. So, it's starting to look very inviting. So, King Kruk, you got three? Boss. Okay, that's crazy. That really is. All right, let's get to the first things first, okay? What I did want to talk about. Oh, hey, Daniel Rios. What's up, creative? Shout out to Robert for creating an awesome photography a podcast. Thank you. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Roy says, I was always jealous of the 4-inch screen on the Black Magic Pocket. Nikon did it even better. 100%. Like, one thing, Roy, like I'm sure you've had it in your hand, but when I looked at it for the first time, it blew my mind. The color, the brightness, and how much more 1 inch really makes a difference, right? That's what she said. Okay. Whoop, whoop. So, but it did make a big difference. And my eyes are shot. Like without these glasses, bro, you're all blurry to me. Okay. And I really thought that 4-inch screen was amazing. Now imagine how much lighter your gimbal rig would be, or just when you're running a gun in. Like that camera is pretty awesome. You can mount it everywhere, and the price point is is obtainable for a lot of people. Okay, I think Nikon damn near. Well, they stripped down a Nikon. It's a stripped down like Z6 III with some extra additional video centric features like the flow audio and stuff like that. But the price point, you can't beat it. You just can't beat it. You just can't. All right. Let's see here. Let's get back to my other thing. I wanted to talk to you guys. Oh, let me go to this. Look at this interesting news before share this time. Cool. Let's talk about some news. All right. And here we go. All right, here we go, everybody. So look at this. This is cool because a lot of I always preach Viltrox from the top of my lungs, okay? And some of you are like, I think a couple of you were like, you must be an ambassador. I'm not an ambassador. They don't care about me unless I have a gazillion trillion subs and some other factors, I guess. But I really enjoy their products. Viltrox has the Nexus Focus, which uses Sony phase detect autofocus and motors to automate manual cine lenses. Okay, this is awesome. This is awesome, everybody. Now, as you know, I love my Nikon and I use Lumix, and I've honestly never shot with Sony before. But this is still great news. Okay. If you're a cine lens owner like myself, I love my cine lenses, and they cost pound for pound cheaper just because you don't have all the motors inside, and they tend to be lighter, etc., and all that stuff. So being able to automate or have autofocus with those cine lenses is pretty awesome. So let's read on. Viltrox has launched Nexus Focus F1, the world's first PL to E autofocus control system, enabling AI-powered autofocus when using manual PL cine lenses on Sony E-mount cameras. Okay, so with vintage glass, all the rage these days, this new adapter could be a massive deal for modern filmmakers. So here it is. They say vintage lenses are making a powerful comeback. Autofocus has become the industry standard. Between them, a gap has existed for decades. Viltrock writes on its Nexus Focus F1 Kickstarter. Essentially, the F1 adapter attaches the Sony E-mount camera body, and users then attach PL mount lenses to it. Once the lens is on, users then attach the focus gear to the lens, and F1 uses Sony camera's phase attack autofocus system to feed electronic information to the Nexus Focus, which then translates that information into precise focus control over the manual. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. And let me see if I can. Yeah, there we go. We're playing it. I don't want to play sound because then I will be demonetized from showing this. Okay. But that is pretty cool. Now, obviously there was an attempt with dang it, what did DJI have? They had that AI thing that they radar thing, LiDAR, right? So this kind of, I'm curious how this works and compared to that, but this is really cool news coming from Viltrox. You know, again, I thought they were being innovative with all this great glass at affordable prices. Now they're throwing this in there for those who are real cinematographers, or at least those who have cine lenses. This is pretty awesome. Okay. Pretty awesome. I guess you have okay, you have an app to go with it. All right. Yeah, direct lens control with focus with F1 manual cine lenses become fully integrated into the camera system. Focus, aperture, and zoom can be controlled directly from the camera interface. No external controllers, no workarounds. That is pretty cool. All right. Whoops. Yeah. So, with that said, I say you. I mean, for those who out there is using cine glass, manual cine glass, me, right? That's my preferred. But when you're shooting solo, it gets a little bit more difficult, right? Like efficiency tends to take over. So an autofocus lens tends to win the day. But I'd love to shoot more with my cine glass. I enjoy the look of it. So I'm very impressed with the type of technology and what they're working toward. Because again, like this episode is about photography goals of 2026. So to hear this may help you reach those goals that much easier. I like the companies that are trying to innovate and really help out our for creative workflow and make it that much more enjoyable, more fun, and easier. Ken Kruk says, Rob, do you think? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go to the first question. I'm sorry. Roy says, I don't need a field monitor on my ZR. Yeah, no. I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, a 5-inch monitor with that much more added weight and increasing the size for just 1 more inch is almost ridiculous. King Kruk, it'd be nice if Nikon was still making flash. What do you recommend for Z cameras? Now, if you're talking about a speed light, King Kruk, I personally use Godox. The V100 is an awesome speed light. And where the hell is mine? Let me see if I can find it. All right, here we are. I'm not sure if you guys were hearing me throw things left and right over there to find it. So if I need a real good speed light, this is what I use right here. The Godox V100. It's awesome. Right there. Okay. I love this thing. You got a little light here if you need a little light assist. Okay. You can take it off if you want. Whoops. Clearly I messing things up around here. Goodness. Correct. Oh, there it is. There we go. Turn this little puppy on. I like that it's touchscreen. This is what I'm using, King Kruk. If it's a speed light that you're talking about, you control everything there. Whatever you want to do. It's a pretty cool, very powerful, and charging is really easy. You could charge here via US. Oh, there it is, via USB-C. You could charge that battery, and you can get more of these if you want separately. Even though it's proprietary, has a pretty good battery life, but this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. That's what I use for off-camera flash, like if I need a speed light kind of a situation. But I wouldn't really go to Nikon. There's so many great options, and Godox is like the Viltrox for lighting, quite honestly. They come out with great lighting for affordable prices, and we're actually going to be talking about them in a second, to tell you the truth. Rob, do you think Nikon cine lenses will come in PL or LPL mount? I think if anything, if they didn't, they're going to prioritize Z mount. We already know that part, right? So I think that if anything, PL, because it's like the most neutral mount, and the most people probably have that, right? It covers a lot of range from amateur to enthusiast to professional cinematographers. PL mount is pretty accepted by a wide range of cinematographers. So if they did do a mount, it would probably be PL, or it would be a Z mount with you could buy a separate adapter. That would be smart if they just gave you a Z mount camera, right? Ergo all their Z mount, and then they just created an adapter for those lenses to P mount to PL, and then that would broaden their not only their user base but their customer base, obviously, because they're like, hey, I want the glass, but I have my own camera. Boom. I think PL mount would be the most logical step. I could be wrong though. I'm just a guy, with 12 people watching my stream. That's it. That's all. All right. Let's see. Malcolm Walker. That is badass. Oh, yeah. It's really cool. It's really cool, Malcolm. You're absolutely right. Let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Roy says, I haven't used speed lights for years, ever since strobes grew batteries. Yeah, I know what you mean. I really do. For some folks, this is what they like. And what's nice about this, it's 100 watts. It's not a weak light. I think the SB 910 from Nikon, the OG, which I do own too, is like 75 watts. So you have more power here, and you have the rechargeable, touchscreen. It's a real cool option. And the next thing I would do after this is the Godox AD200 Pro Mark II. Okay, if you want to like twice as much power and the cost to be not too much more. We got Mr. John Ishii in the house. Morning. Good morning. Gosh, that's so trippy to say that. That's so trippy to say that, because right now it's 5:40 here in California. All right. I'm not a fan of round-headed lights, uneven lighting. You know what? That's a great point. That's one thing for me as well. One struggle for me as well is the round head and finding accessories that really work with this. I have a Godox what do you call it? A Bowens S mount, and it has an adapter to hold this round head in there, so I can attach soft boxes, etc. So that is one gripe, but a lot of people seem to like it because a lot of brands are coming out with round heads. Let's see. By the way, it's God Ox, not Godox. Chinese character is God Ox, God of Ox. What? Wow. I'll tell you right now. Let me ponder that. All right, let's do this again, folks. Godox. Godox. God ox. God of ox. All right, let's say it together. Godox. Godox. I want a 8200 Godox Pro Mark II. Would you like a Godox? I think we'd all like a Godox in this new year. All right. Oh, there you go. I'm not sure what to say. I have been corrected. Thank you very much. I have been corrected. I heard the Godox lights will lose power and the temp changes as opposed to Pro Photo. Well, I mean, I've never had a bad issue with Pro Photo, but you do pay premium for that kind of performance. And I think that's why, like with Godox, you have like different tiers. Like, let me see, 80. Let me see here, Godox 80, 600. Like they'll have a line that's called like, is it Pro? I think their Pro lines are the ones that have a consistent power throughout the charge. Yeah, like there's 8600 and there's 8600 Pro. And if you stick with the Pro lines of their flashes, those are supposed to be going more in a line, I can say toe to toe with Pro Photo, but then you pay the premium. So I would call, honestly, well, John Ishii, you're over there in another continent, but for those in America, I would call Adorama, but and have them explain it since they have the Flashpoint, aka Godox, you know. Roy says, whoop, where are we? LED panels for video and strobes for stills. That's what I do. That's what I do. But I do have to say though, you do get your, you get what you pay for with LEDs. I recommend getting a powerful one, starting off, if possible, like if you're shooting documentaries, interviews, etc., start at minimum 300 watt. You could always turn it down, but man, when you need to turn it up, it's a real pain when you can't. So I have a 600, I have a 650, a 300, 250, 200. I have a bunch of dang lights. Let's see. Godox. I got the Godox treatment here from John Ishii. Where's my other thing? Okay, all right. So far we're looking good. All right, we're actually caught up. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Now let's take a look. Let me cue you guys up. And it's ironic that we're talking about lighting because this is what I want to mention to talk about today. All right, let's get to it right here. So check this out. Some of you probably already know, but Godox just released, whoops, let me go back, the AD800 or Flashpoint Explorer 800 Pro TTL, okay? 800 watts of pure bliss. Of course, it works with your wireless trigger, your 2.4 gigahertz, and it's battery powered. We already know that, but 800 watts. All right, let's look at some of these specs here. What are we getting? 800 watts, 9 stops of power. All right. I guess you could use your what is it? Yes, it's TTL, Bowen's mount. Okay, it doesn't really tell us anything awesome except that the modeling lamp is 40 watt right there if you want to use that. Of course, it has high-speed sync. Duh. All right. Blah, blah, blah. All right. So it says everything, everything's pretty much straightforward and basic. Now, you could use any of these new triggers, the X, well, these are called R2, but the X3 and the X3 Pro triggers if you're buying the Godox version. All right. But think about this, 800 watts. Like that is crazy. That's crazy. That's a lot of power. Now, some of you may know, let me switch it like this. Some of you may know that my first off-camera flash, like studio flash, actually was Paul C. Buff's Alien Bees. Okay. I got like, what did I get? I think I got 1 or 2 of them. But then I finally got What did I get? Oh yeah, I finally got one Godox or Flashpoint. What is it? Yeah, Flashpoint Explorer AD 600. I got one. I was like, let me see what it's like. And at that time, it was like the first time they had a high powered flash that or strobe that was, it was under 600 bucks. I think it was like 550 or something like that. I ordered it and I was like, "Oh my god," and it's battery powered. I was like, "Holy cow, no cords." Oh my god. And I thought I was the bee's knees, let me tell you. And then when I really enjoyed how much I was able to do with it, I ordered 2 more. Right? So I still have those 3. I still have those 3. They're kicking like a mule. And trust me, I put them through the ringer. So as far as I'm concerned, if you get a good quality flash from Flashpoint or Godox, you are going to be able to keep it for some time, unless you're kicking this thing down some steps. So, but even at that, my point is that I bought it. They're all 600-watt flashes. There's been very, 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 very few times where I need to use a full 600-watt flash power, right? Like I can't really remember. I remember doing quarter and half in studio for so I could shoot at like 6.3 or f8, f11, something like that for like beauty work or some headshots and stuff like that. Um, but rarely am I at full power. Okay. That's a lot of power. Now, not saying that you wouldn't be. If you do action photography or something like that, sports and sport portraitures and they're moving, you're going to want some power to freeze them in the way that you want. Um, the reason why I bring that up is because a friend of mine, his name is Anthony Good, A Good, who commented earlier, asked me, he's like, "Yo, what do you think about these flashes?" And I'm like, "The flash is amazing." Okay, I mean, it's a lot of power. But for me, I don't know when I would need 800 watts that often to justify $1,000 for one. But to be quite honest, if this is what how I makes my, we can say my bread and butter, meaning action portraits. It could be athletes like student athletes, in part of football teams and all that jazz. I would seriously consider this flash. I'd probably get 2 of them real easily if that's how you're making money. For me, my portraits, I mean, my models don't really generally move. So the 600 watts to me would make so much more of a difference. And for 600-watt, you're going to pay a fraction of the price. Look at this. You're at, oh my God, you're at 500 bucks. So from 600, from 800 to 600-watt, you're at 500. You get 2 of these for the price of one of those. Now, I'm only saying, I'm not, I'm only sharing this not to poo poo on your parade. For those who are like, oh my God, I got to spend $1,000 on something right now. No, I'm sharing this with you to say, calm down. It's not for everyone. Really look at what your workflow is and your intent with your content. And you may be better off at just getting the 600 and getting 2 of them for the price of one of these. And me being that I've owned the 600 for, it has to be since at least 2013, 2014, something like that. I've yet to have the need to want more power than those 3 600s that I own. All right. So, but I think this is now the good part is this is pretty awesome news, and I'll tell you why. For those that do live and breathe this, that's actually a really good price. 800-watt, you're going to be able to freeze motion with the littlest of ease, or overpower the sun any time of the day. Yeah, this is a really good price. And again, if I lived and died by the kind of photography that requires high speed sync and all that other jazz, high powered strobe photography, I'll get 2 of them. Easy. Easy. Okay. That's just my opinion. But I when I saw this, I was like, damn, 800 watts? Yo, that's crazy bright. That is crazy bright. So anyway, it's just just my opinion. Let me see. If anybody else doesn't agree with me, oh, no, no, it looks like everybody's kind of silent. So therefore, I'm guessing you all agree with me. Oh, by the way, all right, make sure. I mean, come on, folks. Smash that like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, hit the bell because guess what? I go live not just during my Thursday podcast, but also just throughout the week, photo shoots or gear unboxing. And if you want to get notified, you got to hit the bell. You got to hit the bell because ironically, it doesn't matter how many subs you have. What matters most is that you hit the bell, and then those are the ones that will get reached out for sure. All right. And now, how do I know this? Well, because the algorithm tells me so. It says, how many of you guys are watching that hasn't hit the bell versus who has? Okay. So I know. I'm like Santa Claus out here. Okay. I check my list twice. Um, what else is there? And of course, if you enjoy this kind of content so far, the best way to support this channel is becoming a member. So you click that little join button down below for like $2.99 a month. All right. So that's like a cup of coffee if you're in America. And that really helps out the channel a great deal. All right. Let's see here. So we're looking pretty good. We got a couple comments. I'm sure people are scolding somebody in here. Uh But why would you need it? Oh, yeah, that's kind of my point. Why would you need it? I was thinking, like, if you're talking about the strobe, PB drop shot. Okay, I like that. Um, I kind of was thinking the same thing. Why would you need it? Some will. If I did portraits of high school football players, stuff like that, or sports players, like any athlete, um, I would consider this if that is how I made my bread and butter. I don't. I do portraits, fashion, sometimes a wedding. So my subjects are generally static. They're still. I pose them, hold it, take my photo. And most times I don't need to overpower the sun, but if I need to, my 600 watts are fine. I'm just trying to be having folks to be more, think critically when you're looking at great product releases, because not every release is for you. That's kind of my point. That's why I'm saying this. Um, yeah, Roy says the Westcott FJ600 is more powerful than the new 8800. Oh, well, let's take a look, shall we? Westcott AJ 600, you said? Okay, clearly I don't know. Okay, I clearly don't know how to spell. What'd you say? Um, where's Roy? Colorful Eddie. I'm trying to look for. Daniel. Daniel says, I ain't calling it Godax, Godox. You know what? I don't blame you, brother. Let me tell you, I do not blame you. Not all flashes work well with my Z8 or Z9. Oh, okay. That's real good to know, Roy. That really is. I mean, the only flashes I've been using with my Z cameras have been Godox. I'll be quite honest. So I've had zero issues, and but uh, I'll keep that in the back of my mind in case people ask for sure. So I appreciate that. You can call them and see if any other folks have this issue. I haven't tried as I use Photo. Copy that. Okay. Aperture makes the best LEDs, but all LEDs have color issues. Good point, Roy. Yeah, aperture is the safest bet for sure. I actually have been using GVM high powered lights, and I've really enjoyed what I've been able to do with their lights. But you're absolutely right. Every light has their issue. Uh, Davey says, yes, I paid 960 bucks for 8600 Pro 2. Oh, good Lord. That's great. Hey, you know what? When I paid for the originals at first, I thought that I was spending a lot of money. Well, I was for me, but knowing that I was able to, I still can use them without an issue 10 plus years later says a lot. So I definitely got my money's worth. I loved your gym shoot. Very nice. And the octagon box is perfect lighting. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, you guys go check that. Like I said earlier, my photo shoot video with Venusa. Go see how I was able to light commercial fitness portraits for a personal trainer. That video is live now on my channel. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that one. Okay, so thank you very much, Johnny G. I appreciate it. Let's go back to the comments. Where was I? Okay. King Kruk says, Rob, do you set up negative lighting? Sometimes, depending on the scene. Like if I have tons of white walls, I don't want to use for reflection or, then yes, I would want to control it with negative fill, right? Whether it be through a V flat or just using some sort of panel. So it all really depends on like what I have in my crazy little bean of a brain up here and how do I get there. So I actually embrace negative fill or shadows and contrast. It just adds more drama and dimension to your subject, right? Too much even lighting, as you know, creates a flat, boring subject, really. So I always look for ways to creatively add negative fill or lighting, if that's what you mean. Roy, and that's what I did in that fitness shoot, by the way. Like I purposely was like, and wanted to really create that. And I used the rim light to create separation between the subject and that background. Just because she's brown skin and then like the walls were kind of reddish orangish. And I was like, okay, I'll use a CTO gel. And that light really helped to pull her apart, but also sculpted her a little bit. So that kind of worked out for me. Roy Bigsby, apart me abusing them, the only Godox fail I've had is the 8600, a battery. Wow. I haven't had that issue, but I'm not surprised if you did. I mean, batteries are kind of tricky. Like they'll come and go when it feels like. And so I'm sorry to hear that. King Kruk says, if it's good enough for you, Roy, I'll take a look at the Gadax. Okay, there you go. Hey, I'm telling you, look, you guys, I'm not just telling you, I'm showing you I use the stuff. Like that last video, King Kruk. Like you'll see, I used the 280 600. No, excuse me. I used as the key light the 8600, and as the B light or rim light, I used the 8200. Okay, and both originals, old school, not the pros and the version twos. Um, Cooley's in the house. Wow. He says, "Hey, what's up, guys? Awesome, good to see you." Wow, that's awesome. And then Carlos comes in, says, Aperture's the best. You better believe it. Okay. I think a lot of people would agree. And he says, I have the 1200D Pro. You know what? I have a 650 watt, but my next LED light will be a 1200 for sure. I want a 1200 for my next short film. That would be beautiful. So shout out to you, Carlos. That's awesome. All right, looks like you really got some LED action going on. And the Nova. Let's see here. Davey says it's really nice to place negative fills on the opposite side to your key light. Absolutely, absolutely. Matter of fact, I try to if someone asks, I tell people to embrace the shadows, right? Kind of like Bane from Batman. I was born in the dark, right? So let's say I was born to like shadow and contrast. You merely just learned how to use it. So, that's what I say. Embrace it. Your job as a photographer, filmmaker is to not only understand proper exposure, but also how to utilize and shape your light with shadow. Okay. That's the only way you're going to do it. There you go. To be or not to be? Anyway, I'm a little delirious right now. Kid Crook comes in. Let's take a look at Ellen Chrome. I would like to if my page, if I could afford it. Let me stop. Let me see Ellen Chrome. Here we go. Let's see their lights. I wouldn't be mad. Hold on, let me share. There we go. Got Ellen Chrome. I've never considered just because of price tag. I'll be quite honest. Damn, 2,500. Oh boy, who's the one that told me to take a look? Oh, Ken Kruk, the man with 4 Nikon ZRs is telling me to look at this. Oh boy, I tell you, look at it. Ooh wee, $5,000 for 2 lights. 5 monolight dual kit. Goodness gracious. God bless you, Ken Kruk. God bless your soul. Jeez, this is like pro photo prices. No wonder I haven't looked over here. I'm more of a Godox budget man. I know, who uses, I think John Grass, he uses Ellen Chrome all the time. He like lives and dies by it. I swear to God, that's the brand he uses. So shout out to him. His portraits are awesome. But I've never used it. I wouldn't be mad, but shoot, my budget right now says Godox. Okay. So that's where I'm at. All right. Let's see here. Cooley says, has anyone played with Elon's Starlink? Oh, I have not. What in the world is that? Starlink. What the heck is a satellite internet constellation operated by Starlink Services, wholly owned and subsidiary aerospace company by SpaceX. Oh Jesus, I don't know what this is, but I'll be quite honest. Like as much as Elon's doing crazy things, he's kind of a nutcase, and I'm not sure if I like to put my money toward people that I want to like help. I'd rather buy your head. I'd rather pay for Cooley to do my headshots than Elon Musk and his fanciful like fantasy tech wishes to control the world. Okay, so I see what he's done with Twitter, and I'm sorry, that space is garbage. So yeah, I vote with my dollar. That's all I gotta say. But I haven't messed with it yet, Cooley. Roy says, I like to have a modeling light. The 8200 is my go-to light. I love the 8200. I mean, every time someone's like, what should be my first flash? I always tell them go to 8200 Pro Mark II. Might as well get the newest one because it's only like $30 difference. And that will keep them going for a long time. It comes with TTL, high-speed sync. It's a really good flash for most people. And 200 watts is great. It's going to be twice the power as the V100 here. Okay. So yeah, the 8200 is phenomenal, whether it's Flashpoint or Godox. Okay. And shout out to John Ishii, because after today, I'm going back to the old name. All right. You could tell those folks over in China that it's Godox here in America. Okay. That's how we roll. All right. Oh boy, Godox. If I say it like that, people will literally be like, are you okay? Why are you saying it like that? It's like with Nikon. We call it Nikon, and it's like Nikon. It's like, no, brother. You step on the in the land of what do you call it? What do I call it? Our flag, we call it Old Glory. In the land of Old Glory, where she waves, we call it Nikon. We don't call it Nikon or whatever. And they call it Z mount. Oh, no. We go by inches here. We don't do metric. Our whole everything is different. So it's Nikon. Okay. I've said it and I'm sticking to it. Uh, Roy says, I'm going to Cal. Go Docs, go Docs. Exactly. He's going to call it Go Docs. Well, then, all right, that's it. That's how they're going to call it in Australia for Roy. We're calling it Godox. And then in China, they're going to call it Godox for some reason that no one else would ever have guessed. Okay. That's about. All three countries, where it says all three countries of the 195 use imperial measurements. You know, what are you gonna say? What did they say? You say, oh, there's like I say, it's like oranges or no, there's something else. Dang, I'm trying to remember the stupid saying. But either way, what works for you works for me. You know, I'm still gonna call it what I call it, but it is called God Ox. I mean, unless John Ishii told me that, I would never have guessed that. I would never have guessed that. All right. But I know like in China they have like the year of the ox and stuff. So that I'm sure that could be some sort of connection to it, right? It says God of Ox. But shoot, you got me. You got me, John. You got me good. All right. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh, let's talk about the last thing I want to talk about is, you know, what are your photography goals for 2026? Okay. That's the main topic of the day. And I want us to talk about that right now because I've been doing a lot of soul searching the past 2 weeks, starting this new year. And I hope all of you out there have been as well. Whether you shoot video, stills, or whatever, right now you should be honestly constantly reassessing your place in this grand scheme of things with AI disrupting both stills and video, or any creative with that, should be worried really. But and again, as I mentioned at the beginning, the perceived value of photography is going down faster and faster by the minute. Cell phones really disrupted the perceived value of photography. It's like, oh, I can take a photo right now with my phone, but can you just do it? Why does it cost $400 when you want to do it? So it's like we have to constantly reevaluate where we are and where we plan to go. Not only to just stay relevant, but really to just be on your way, just to be how can I say, to have that edge. Even if you're doing this as a hobby, well, I guess if you're just doing it for a hobby and love it, well then rock on. If you like taking your landscape photos and all that. But if you want to be like a serious enthusiast, earn a little bit of extra money, or try to somehow figure out a way to make an income off of this, something consistent, you have to. You have to. I do. Believe it or not, every time I post a video or go live, I wait a day and I look at all the analytics and I'm like, damn, man, where did I go? Why didn't I do this, like that? Like my latest video, I really enjoyed it. The fitness photo shoot. The algorithm didn't. I don't know what it is, but it's not really pushing it. It is what it is. I spent some time making the video. I'm proud of it, but I still have to reevaluate. What could I have done better? What this, what that, what this? But otherwise, there's another YouTuber coming out talking about the same camera or whatever it is that they have a passion, or they're a new expert all of a sudden. And that's also in photography and filmmaking right now. Like everybody's an expert in as long as you have a credit card and access to buy a camera. Right. So that's why I'm saying, like, what are your goals? What are your goals for photography in 2026? Because this is going to be a heck of a year. I'm telling you right now, you already know. A lot of you out there know that I've been saying for years, photography alone will no longer cut it. We are so past that photography and video disrupting photography business. We're so past that in just a couple of years. AI is here, and it's literally it's it can't be denied. It is here. We just saw with the Nexus Focus Puller thingamabobber with Viltrox that they incorporated AI so that you can get Sony phase detect autofocus. So AI is here. Okay. I wish we only had to deal with the introductory of the demand of video content creation as photographers. Um, what is I think social media is going to change dramatically, and it kind of already has. Half the videos, or I wouldn't say half, but a good 20% of them, I honestly, they're AI generated, and they're pulling the same, if not more, attention than average real life creators. So when you're trying to pitch your portfolio and use it and say, hey, this is what I'm about, this is what makes me different, aside from being human, they're going to, again, go back to perceived value. Potential clients were like, hey, I want that, even though that's like fake. They want that. Can you do that? So, like, adding AI prompt skills to your repertoire may be really, really a good move. I know I'm trying to get better at AI prompting, not to use or create content per se, but to help me ideate concepts I may have using AI. Because I use ChatGPT all the time, believe it or not. When I have an idea for a video, I go to ChatGPT and I say, okay, this is where I want to go with it. Da, 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 da. Give me some suggestions. What do you recommend? And I'm like bouncing ideas back and forth, and then I make my video, right? AI can't take my personality, God willing for now. But it does help me ideate. But so, and that's one way that I'm trying to leverage this technology. And I want to in 2026 even more so that I can create more content more frequently for all of you because I don't have a team. It's just me, this fancy black t-shirt that I've had for 10 years, and a hope and a prayer. Okay. Bigger channels may have an editor and all that other stuff. So if I could cut back on the pre-production through using AI, I'm going to do it because in 2026, the demand for creatives are going to go higher than ever. It's going to go higher than ever. They're going to, when I was talking about video, adding video to your repertoire as photographers, right? Because clients already expect you to know how to shoot video because all of our cameras can do video and half the content they see is video. So they assume you know how to do video. Guess what? They're going to expect you to know how to use AI. They're going to expect it. I'm telling you, mark my words. You guys look at my humble small channel and think I'm crazy, right? I have to get big like Peter McKinnon to be taken serious. I'm telling you right now, clients are going to expect you to know how to use AI. So what does that mean? What does that mean? If you're trying to plan a goal, oh my God, thank you so much. So many comments. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God, these are great comments right here. Um, okay, hold on. Let me go through these real quick. Cooley says, just do not call me late for dinner. I won't, brother. Dave says, American English is just different. Absolutely, it is. It's our own thing. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't, it's a, what do you call it? A masala of languages. And then at the end, we're just like, screw it. This is how we're going to say it. And depending on where you are in America, we're going to say it our way, right? Southern twang, or whatever it is. In New York, we draw things out like orange. So we just do our thing, man. It is what it is. Avolo bad. Oh, okay, Cooley. And then Johnny, she says, ha ha, ha, call it anything you want, but you want Godox cheap like 40 less. Go to Shenzhen, China, where I was the Godox show. Oh, you were at the Godox showroom. Ooh, and it's huge. Dang. That's like southern, right? Southern, western China, somewhere over there, Shenzhen. Anyway, that's awesome. Damn, I'm so jealous. And then we have Drunk Wedding Photographer. My goal this year is to get featured on 10 online publications, weddings, culture, and general photography. I have 2 down. Well, shout out to you. Shout out to you. That's awesome, man. King Crook says, Rob, you just gave me an idea. I will use my Dash pocket light for photography. Hey, man, why not? Get creative. I have a shoot plan that I'm going to use a pocket LED light at night with a model and just have some fun. So it's RGB light. Let's see. Roy, imperial measurement are for the people that don't do math. Well, I have to say, Roy, guilty as charged. That's what it is. King Krug says, I'm going to do way more photography than previous years. Shout out to you, King Krug. And King Krug, you could DM me on Instagram. Like if you have any photography, whatever, you just want to shoot the whatever, like that's the best way. Holla at your boy. Okay. Davey, well, for me, I'm focusing on my commercial editorial work. Right on. I made a 5K investment in lighting and stands and backgrounds. Awesome. That is freaking awesome, Davey. Right on, man. You too. Keep follow me on Instagram. Keep me posted. If you want, you could always tag me in your photos. I'd love to see what you're creating out there. I love fashion editorial work. If you see on my website, I've done a lot of it. And definitely, man, I'm rooting for you. Roy says AI isn't machine learning. AI has been around since we got auto exposure many decades ago. Very good point. Very good point. I guess to the what I mean is like AI is here is like as a disruptive force. How can I say? Dang, it's hard for me to really say it, but it's here in a major way. I know we've been using AI technically when we create masking tools in Lightroom Classic, right? So it's been here, but it's really here in a major way that it fools a lot of people, right? So like when we had autofocus and all these things like you're mentioning, it was really within our space, but our clientels weren't really obviously privy to the impact of AI early on. Now it's like part of it's like it's normal. It's part of our everyday language or visual content consumption language. So that's kind of what I mean. I know it sounds crazy, but um we have John saying, good question. I already started. I'm dumping gear. Sold off Nikon 7200 2.8 and my 100 400. All my GFX gear and lens except for my GFX RF. Wow. All right, you're dumping stuff. Gee whiz. And shout out to John. He's a member of this channel, and that's why his comments are being highlighted because that's one of the perks as being a member of the channel. So FYI, feel free to join down below and enjoy the perks. And then we have King Krug says, Rob, are you sharpening your marketing skills? Actually, I am. That's a great question, King Krug. And what I actually started to do is offer I was like, my motto for this year is add value. Like add value to my client base, to people who reach out to me and they're like, hey, what can you do? What can you do well? And I was like, well, I already could do photos well, I could do video well. Then I started really I can say reverse engineering from the consumer perspective. I started to think who needs photos and video content still very regularly on a consistent basis? What market needs that? And honestly, I just got into real estate marketing content creation this year. So I created an entire website. This is what I did, King Kruk. I went to let's go to Robinson Photography. Boom. I created an entire website right here, as you can see, for real estate, photo, and video content marketing for my clients. So for myself, I was like, add value to my services. If I'm just waiting for headshots and portfolios, all that stuff, I'm going to be dead and gone because inflation, everybody's getting hurt in the pocket. So I said, what area still needs this? Where's the demand still pretty consistent? It's in real estate. So I've included this. I've created this page on my website and I created packages for photos and videos for agents and realtors and brokerage firms in order to still be able to produce value and enter into a market that is closely related to the skills that I currently have. So with all that said, one of my new creative ways that I plan to market my skills is as a marketing content creator for real estate agents and realtors. They all need this kind of stuff that we all do. We already have all the gear. I certainly do. I have drones and everything else. And this is a market that still, how can I say, understands the value of high quality content. All right. So, because I rather do real estate, I enjoy it more than I do weddings. I'll tell you that right now. All right. So, sorry to anybody that's thinking about getting married. It is what it is. So that's how that's one of my goals for 2026 is to really enter into the real estate market. And that's a skill set, being creative anywhere I go. Anywhere I go, there's a home that needs to be sold, and there's an agent somewhere trying to sell something or trying to buy the next home, whatever the case may be. There's a home that needs to be marketed. All right. So all my Nikon, all my gimbals, all my everything, boom, I'm ready to go. So I created this one page on my website, and I already have interest in my services already. Okay. I did a whole pitch. Guys, you don't understand. Last week I did a whole pitch. I'm talking about slideshow, PowerPoint presentation to a real estate group of multiple agents, and I pitched my packages. It was awesome. I was on fire. Okay, I was out there like I was selling the last scoop of ice cream, man. I'm telling you, and it felt great. Not only that, I was in front of people who actually valued what I have to offer as a creative. That's a good space to be in. So for me, this year, it's about adding value, not only to my clients, but to you guys as well. You guys are a part of my big 2026 and marketing. I want to teach more. I want to inspire more. I want to come up with more consistent, helpful content for all of you out there. Now, sometimes my videos get like 150 views. Okay. It is what it is. But you know what? I'm going to make the next video. I'm going to make the next video. I'm going to make the next video. And you guys are seriously big part of my 2026 goals, thus this here YouTube channel. Okay. So watch, I'm going to hit 20K one day, and I want to utilize the growth of my channel to add more valuable content for all of you out there, or at least entertain you. I don't mean, whatever works for, whatever floats your boat. Let's see. Oh, okay, Cooley. He's working on photo books. That's what's up. I would really like to work on a photo book. I wanted to make a model photography book, quite honestly. I really did. But it might take time. And I'm not sure how many people actually buy books anymore. Do any of you buy photo books? Like besides Lindsay Adler's modeling photo book, So I don't want to go through all the trouble and then cost too much and waste too much time. Malcolm Walker says, you're gonna be on for a bit. I can join in if you like. Oh, Malcolm, don't worry because I actually have to split in like 10 minutes. So don't worry about it. Next time for sure. My throat is already getting a little tired. I'm not gonna lie. And from what I told, I talk loud here in this room and it goes right through these walls. So, I need some rest. Davey, I joined, but for another account, Andre, I'm on my work phone now. Okay, got you. King Kruk, great design on your website, Rob. Hey, King Kruk, thank you very much. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. I think Donald Trump has something to say to you too. Hold on, let me where's Donald Trump at? Oh, here he is.
Thank you very much.
Oh, here you go. He wants to say thank you very much on my behalf. Thank you, Ken Kruk. I really appreciate it. Roy, I'd love to find the time to disassemble Nikon's operating system this year. Sony seems to have a strange version of Linux. Disassemble? Oh boy. Feel free to keep me posted, but don't tell me how to do it because I don't want to know. Okay. Roy says, I love photo books, but only the big A3 or bigger ones. Oh, like a coffee book. Okay, copy that. Like a big old like coffee table kind of book. Malcolm Morgan says thumbs up. Then all right, brother. Thank you very much. I just need to I need to rest. I'm not gonna lie. I really do. All right. Now, what's about to say? So if you're first of all, I'm curious that like For photography goals, I'm trying to think of like what other creative photography. You know what I really want to do this year, photography wise? I want to double down on video for myself. I want to double down on video. That's why I'm taking a second look at the Nikon ZR. That's why, honestly, like I have my Lumix S5 Mark II X rigged out. You can't see it, but it's over there. I want to shoot more with Nikon video. Okay, there you go. I said it. I said it out loud. All right. I want to shoot more video with Nikon. Edit more with their color science. I want to shoot more ProRes RAW just to play with it. But in general, I want to use Nikon more for video. That's one thing I want to do. Okay. Everybody talks about Nikon and video when it comes to ZR, but like people forget that the Z8 and the Z6 Mark III are phenomenal cameras. The Z9 too, but let's be honest, the size of that thing, I wouldn't use it for video. Use it for photos though. I mean, you'll never get better than that. But yeah, I'm really want to do that more. I like rigging up my Z8 and Z6 Mark III. And if I come across a short like script for a film, I may just do it in Nikon just to see what I could do with that son of a gun. That'd be kind of cool. So that's one thing I really want to do this year for sure, creatively, is shoot more video with Nikon. I love Lumix colors and all that other stuff, but I do love Nikons as well. So like, I want to really do that more. Hey, NYCFX, watching from New York City. Shout out to you. Thank you for watching from New York City. I'm from Long Island, so it is what it is, brother. I was born in Brooklyn and raised in Long Island. Went to high school, Long Island. Roy Bigsby. Oh, okay. Okay, he was talking to King Kruk out there in the streets. You know what I'm saying? King Kruk, Rob, many DPs I know were using Z9 and RAW with RED cameras before they bought RED. I was cutting video from D850 with Dragon Z years back. Dang, that's what's up. Okay. For me, it's not about Z9's like capabilities of producing great images. It's just the form factor. Like that thing's too big for me when you can use the Z8. When you go to the Z8, you're just like, there's such a massive difference. And I'll just stick with the Z8. But that's awesome to hear. That really is. That's a Z9 and RAW. Unfortunately, it's going to like literally absolutely obliterate my storage devices though. I already know that, but for a film, that would be worth it because I'd have a budget for media and stuff like that. And you want the, as much dynamic range as you can get. But I'm certainly not shooting R3D files or ProRes RAW, like just for willy-nilly, hell no. Okay. I would not. But that's cool to know, though. That's really cool, King Kruk. That really is. Z9 and RAW with RED cameras. That lets you know maybe there was some talks even before we ever even sniffed out that Nikon was going to buy them. Never know. That's interesting. That those cameras are already kind of being worked together. And the D850 with the Dragon X. That's kind of interesting. All right. So with all that said, guys, I'm a little tired. It is what it is. It's an hour and a half in. I'm going to have to call it a quit here. All right. So, you already know what that means when I turn on that cool, smooth music, right? It's not just to match my cool tone. It's actually to let you all know that I gotta go. All right. So with all of that said, as I mentioned earlier, make sure you go ahead and press that like, that share, that subscribe, and hit the bell so that you get notifications for my upcoming content. Now, my next video, as I mentioned earlier, is my step-by-step breakdown on how to turn any of your Nikon mirrorless cameras into a high-end webcam. So you're going to want to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss that video. All right. And of course, the best way to support this channel is by becoming a member now to enjoy the extra perks of this channel. You click the little join button down below, and that would be awesome. But if you can't, that's cool. Just like this video. All right. So Malcolm Walker says, thanks for the show, Robert. Have a good one. Thank you very much, man. Thank you all for tuning in. And of course, I'm Robert Silver. Until next time, keep shooting and stay creative. Thank you, everyone.